Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this digital classroom for the subject control systems. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the necessity of a controller for the improvement of system performance. We also introduced the proportional controller and we looked into the response of the system with an improvement in reduction of rise time and the steady state error. Today, we are going to use the proportional controller in combination with integral and the derivative action, which results in three types, namely PD controller, PI controller, and PID controller. Let's discuss about each of them one by one. PD controller, also called as proportional plus derivative controller, a controller in the forward path which changes the controller output corresponding to proportional plus derivative of an error signal is called as PD controller. That is, the output will be equal to K into E of t plus TD into dE of t divided by dt. So if we take the Laplace transform of the above expression, it will be K into Laplace transform of E of t is E of s, and we have a derivative constant TD. So the Laplace transform of dE of t by dt will be s into E of s. So you can take E of s as common outside and we can write it as k plus s into td, where k is the proportional constant and we have introduced here a derivative constant td. So now let us represent in a form of a block diagram which is given here. So with respect to the previous case in which we had a proportional controller, and in this case we have a proportional plus derivative controller. So in addition to the proportional controller, we have added a derivative controller which is in parallel with the proportional controller. And the output of this controller will be the sum of proportional plus derivative of an error signal. So let us simplify this block diagram. We have two blocks in parallel. So we know that making use of block diagram reduction technique with respect to the rules, two blocks in parallel, we can take the sum of both the blocks. So after simplification, we get K plus S into TD. Now further simplification, as we have two blocks in series, we can take the product of both the blocks. Hence G of S will be equal to product of, assuming K is equal to 1, G of S will be equal to the product of both the blocks, which is given by 1 plus STD into omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n. So now let us calculate the transfer function, which is given by the ratio of Laplace transform of the output divided by Laplace transform of the input. Hence C of S by R of S is given by G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. Here H of S is equal to 1 and we know that G of S is equal to 1 plus STD into omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n, the whole divided by 1 plus G of S is again written here S into TD omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n. So further simplification, we can obtain the expression as 1 plus STD omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n, the whole divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n plus 1 plus STD into omega n square, the whole divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n. S into S plus 2 zeta omega n and S into S plus 2 zeta n get cancelled out. So we can obtain CFS by GFS as 1 plus STD into omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 zeta omega n plus 1 plus STD into omega n square. So for further simplification, we can obtain CFS by RFS, which is given by 1 plus STD into omega n square divided by S square plus S into 2 zeta omega n plus omega n square TD plus omega n square. So once after obtaining the transfer function, we know that we have to compare the denominator polynomial equal to 0 with the standard characteristic equation, which is given by S square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. So we have to equate the constant as well as the coefficient of s with 2 zeta omega n. So if you compare, we get 2 zeta omega n as 2 zeta omega n plus omega n square TD, and omega n square will be equal to omega n square compared with the standard characteristic equation. Hence, I can represent the characteristic equation notation as zeta dash. Hence, further simplification, zeta dash is equal to zeta plus omega n TD divided by 2. So, in comparison with proportional controller, in which the damping ratio and the natural frequency remains the same as that of a second order system, once after introducing this derivative factor, we could able to see increase in the damping ratio omega n TD divided by 2, which has to be noted down here, because we know that increasing damping ratio will suppress the oscillating nature of your response, and this might be reason which may lead to the reduction of the overshoot. And let us visualize it making use of MATLAB also. Then let us calculate the position error constant Kp, which is equal to limit s tends to 0 g of s into h of s. Let us substitute for GFS, and limit s tends to 0, we can obtain position error constant as infinity. And if you calculate for the velocity error constant, which is given by limit s tends to 0, s into g of s into h of s, we can obtain Kv as s, 1s and 1s will get cancelled out, and as s tends to 0, we can obtain the expression as omega n square divided by 2 zeta omega n, in which 1 omega will get cancelled out, and we can obtain Kv as omega n divided by 2 zeta. As there is no change in the coefficients, the error also will be remaining the same in case of proportional plus derivative controller. So it is very clear that making use of proportional plus derivative controller, the damping ratio has been increased and omega n for the system remains unchanged. So I can say that PD controller improves transient part without affecting the steady state. The most important thing to be noted down here is the derivative controller is never used alone in the system, but always used along with proportional controller. This is because if you take the derivative of a error constant, it becomes 0. Hence, the derivative controller becomes inactive for constant errors. Now, let's look into the response using MATLAB. Let us compare the response in comparison with the proportional controller which we discussed in the previous lecture. So let us take the example of a transfer function after the addition of the derivative controller. T of s is equal to TDS plus K divided by S square plus 10 plus TD of S plus 20 plus K, where K is the proportional constant, and in addition to the proportional constant, we could able to see the addition of a derivative constant TDS as it is a derivative factor, and in the S term also you could able to see the derivative factor which has been added up here. So now let us try to look into the response using MATLAB. So now the numerator polynomial we have TDS plus K. So the coefficient of S is TD and the constant is K. So it has to be stored in numerator where num is equal to td space k, and we have taken the same value which we have used in the previous lecture, k is equal to 300, and let us try for different values of td ranging from 10 to 20, and let us look into the response. And in the denominator we have the coefficient of s square as 1 and the coefficient of s is 10 plus td, and the constant is 20 plus k. So let us substitute here. 10 is equal to 1 space the coefficient of s, that is 10 plus td, and a constant 20 plus k. Then make use of the command step of num comma den, which gives the response directly, and it takes by default a step signal as an input, and we are discussing about the concepts related to a step response of a second order system. So let me click on to this icon. Let us move on to MATLAB and let us try with this example. Let's take some value for k. Let me use the same value for k as 300 and td equal to 10. Then in the numerator polynomial we had td s plus k. So the coefficient of s is td, and we had the constant k. Then in the denominator polynomial we had the expression s square. So s square coefficient is 1 space s coefficient is 10 plus td space the constant is 20 plus k. Then let me use this command step of num comma den, and let us look into the response. So making use of proportional plus derivative controller, we could be able to see exactly the rise time at 0.1, and the overshoot has been increased from 1 to 1.1, and let us observe its response when we increase td from 10 to 20. So let us take for k as the same value. Then for td equal to 20, and let us have a comparison between the previous case which we have taken td as 10, so that you can comment on the effect of the response making use of p plus d controller. And again num equal to td space k, 10 denominator polynomial, then equal to s square, coefficient of s square is 1, 10 plus tds space 20 plus k, then you can use step of num comma den. So in comparison with the previous case in which we have taken td is equal to 10 in combination with proportional constant, and here td increased to 20, very clear that the peak overshoot has been reduced. So you could able to see the decreasing effect of the peak overshoot compared to the previous case And if you keep on increasing TD, we could able to see the suppression of the oscillating nature of the response. And mathematically, it has been proved that the damping ratio has been increased by a factor of omega n into TD by 2. So it is very clear that making use of proportional plus derivative controller, it has reduced the peak overshoot completely, as well as it has reduced the settling time also. The settling time, it has this, if you notice the response in comparison with the previous one, we could able to note that the settling time also has been reduced. So let me move back to the slides. So in comparison with TD is equal to 10 and TD is equal to 20, so if you compare the response with respect to TD is equal to 10 and TD is equal to 20, it is very clear that the overshoot has been reduced, and you could be able to see in the decrease of the settling time TS. So mathematically, we have proved that there is an increase in damping ratio, and the damping ratio effect has been suppressed the oscillating nature, reducing the overshoot. Now let us move on to proportional plus integral controller. A controller in the forward path which changes the controller output corresponding to proportional plus integral of the error signal is called as proportional controller, and the output of the controller is given by k into e of t plus ki into integral e of t dt. In the previous case, it was td d e of t divided by dt, which is defined by the derivative factor, and we have here an integral factor. And taking the Laplace transform of this expression, we can obtain Laplace transform of e of t is e of s. Hence, we get k into e of s, and integral e of t is e of s by s. So we have obtained ki into e of s by s. So taking e of s as common, we have obtained the output of the controller as e of s into k plus ki divided by s. Now let us look into the block diagram, which has been realized as shown below. So we have connected the proportional and the integral factor in parallel to each other. So we know that if two blocks are in parallel, we can take the sum of both the blocks. So for the simplification, we can obtain k plus ki divided by s. And we have to further simplify the block. As two blocks are in series, we can take the product of both, and we can obtain g of s, which is equal to 1 plus ki divided by s into omega n square divided by s into s plus 2 zeta omega n. Further simplification, we can obtain g of s as ki plus s into omega n square divided by a square of s plus 2 zeta omega n. We can obtain the closed loop transfer function, which is given by c of s divided by r of s is equal to ki plus s into omega n square divided by s cube plus 2 zeta omega n s square plus s into omega n square plus ki into omega n square. So now if you look into the effect of this closed loop transfer function, the power of s is here 3. So we can notice that the PI controller has increased the order of the system and the type of the system. Now, as the order of the system is increased by 1, system relatively becomes less stable, as Ki must be designed in such a way that system will remain in stable condition. Remember, second order system will be always in a stable condition. Hence, let us calculate the position error constant Kp, which is given by limit s tends to 0, g of s into h of s. So once after substituting for g of s and limit s tends to 0, we can obtain Kp as infinity, whereas ESS will be equal to 1 by Kp, so 1 by infinity will be equal to 0. And if you calculate for velocity error constant, Kv is equal to limit s tends to 0, s into g of s into h of s. Again substitute for g of s in this expression, we can obtain Kv is equal to infinity in this case, and hence ESS will be 1 by Kv, so 1 by Kv, so 1 by infinity equal to 0. Hence, as the type is increased by 1, error becomes 0 for RAM type of input. That is, steady state of the system gets improved and the system becomes more accurate in nature. So in general, you can say that the proportional plus integral controller improves the steady state part, affecting the transient part. And the transient part gets affected very badly if the controller is not designed properly. So let us try this using MATLAB and look into the response of using a PI controller. So in comparison with proportional controller, let us take an example for a closed loop transfer function after introducing a proportional plus integral controller as T of s is equal to k into s plus ki divided by s cube plus 10s square plus 20 plus k into s plus ki. So we have introduced the integral factor here and we could able to see the increase in the order of the system from s square to s cube. So let us try substituting for different values of ki from ki is equal to 70 and ki is equal to 100. And if you look into the response, it is very clear that after introducing the integral controller in addition to the proportional controller, the rise time has been decreased. You could able to see the decrease in rise time. But on the other side, it has increased the peak overshoot as well as the settling time. But it has eliminated the steady state error completely. So we can conclude that proportional plus integral controller decreases the rise time, increases both overshoot and the settling time, and eliminates the steady state error completely. Moving on to the next controller, that is PID controller, that is proportional plus integral plus derivative controller. As PD improves transient and PI improves steady state, combination of two may be used to improve the overall time response of the system. And this can be realized as shown in the block. It's a combination of P plus D plus I. But the design of such controller is complicated in practice. And the PID controller improves the transient part and steady state part. Hence, the overall time response of the system is improved. So let us conclude with all the controllers. The procedure is very straightforward. The first step, we have to obtain the open loop response and determine the need to be improved, which we discussed in the previous lecture by taking a open loop response GFS, and we identified what are the factors to be improved with respect to that response. And we added in the beginning a proportional controller which has improved the rise time. Then we added a derivative controller which has improved the overshoot. Then we added an integral controller which has eliminated the steady state error completely. So finally we have to adjust each of K, Ki and Td until you obtain a desired overall response. So let us look on to this animated video which has been taken from Automation Forum. I have put up the reference here, in which we can look into the improvement of the response after introducing the proportional, derivative and the integral controller. So once after introducing the proportional controller, it reduces the rise time and the steady state error, but the overshoot is increased. But after introducing the differential controller, the rise time is reduced and the overshoot has been increased and the settling time also has been increased. By introducing the integral controller, we could able to see the decrease in overshoot and the settling time. So as a summary, introducing the proportional constant decreases rise time, decreases the steady state error, but increases the overshoot. Introducing a proportional plus integral controller decreases rise time, increases overshoot, and the settling time. Introducing a proportional plus derivative controller decreases overshoot, decreases the settling time, and the rise time and the steady state error remains with a small change in it. So I have summarized with the proportional, derivative and the integral controller and the response of it through MATLAB. So we have done with this proportional, derivative and integral controllers, and we have analyzed this response using MATLAB also. So moving on to the applications. PID controller are used in most of the automatic process control application in industry today to regulate flow, temperature and pressure control. Without PID controller, manual control of water temperature is a tedious process. Also, PID controller algorithm is used by most of the motion controller applications like high-end robotics, quad rotor, drone, etc. So that the quad rotor drone can be provided with stability in flying. PID controller is also used for electric vehicles and DC motors subjected to control and speed signal constraints. So we have done with this complete PID controllers and we have looked into its applications also. And today we are going to end up with this module and the course outcomes which has been defined by VTU, especially subjected to this module 3 is at the end of this module 3, the students will be able to determine the time domain specification of a first order and the second order system. So from the beginning we have done with the first order system. Then we moved on to the second order system. Parallelly, we analyzed with the different types of steady state errors. We discussed about different types of error constants and their steady state errors. And finally, today we discussed about the PI, PD and PID controllers. In the next module, let us discuss about stability analysis of a system. Thank you.